everybody. I'm James, and this is the Work Hard People's Podcast. I hope everybody out there is doing great. I got my good friend Marcus Guerrero here, and we are here for take two because James did not hit the record button last week when we did this. I was very depressed. It was my first major mistake. I've had some computer mistakes where like the computer glitched out on me, but never one where I did not hit record. But thanks for coming back and doing it again, my friend. How you doing?
Man, it is a pleasure. I just look at it as 2 extra hours in life that I would have never had with James Gilbert. So I'm happy for it. All right. That's our special Into the Vault episode. All right. Best
That's right.
episode yet on Work Hard People's Podcast. Into the Vault. You'll never see it. It's just for
That's
God's
right.
eyes.
It
It
was great too, man. It was a killer conversation.
was a
We went
roller
over some great
coaster.
stuff. Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
liked
I
it.
loved it.
It was
It's so
awesome, man.
mad.
There was a lot
So
of
mad.
love shared and a lot of
Yeah.
passion. So hopefully we can bring that back. It's like the second movie. It's never gonna be as good.
No, it's never going to be as good, but we'll be able to get some good content for y'all. And Marcus has a great announcement. So, and that's the main reason I have Marcus on here, just so everybody knows. Marcus is a ambassador for Old School Labs, supplement company, and he does a lot of different things with him. And they are getting ready to kick off something here in a couple weeks that everybody should take advantage of.
Yes.
And I'm going to let you kick that off and kind of talk about that a little bit. What you got going on there, buddy?
Awesome, man. Yeah, so Old School Labs is kicking off the Old School Labs Spring Transformation Challenge. So spring into action, get your transformation on. I mean, summer is right around the corner. So please, please, please make sure to come join us. All right. It is an amazing community. There is tons of cash and prizes on the line. You got great products. To me, some of the best protein, lemon cheesecake, like some of the best protein in the
Yes, dude.
market. You can pick up some of that. An amazing community. I can't. I want to just express how great the community is. It is a private Facebook group, so you don't got to worry about any what you post. It's very discreet, very just a fitness community that's for you. And there's this is the highest prize fund yet, $10,000. We're back to first place gets 5,000. There's sponsorships being given for athletes and just ambassador thing. Like we've revamped the whole program. So we're just strictly athletes and just really just knocking this one out the park. I really think it's gonna be the best one yet. I got James sending me all sorts of his amazing people in. Like you already
Well,
know the
keep them
group is
coming.
just building.
Keep them
Yeah,
coming,
there
man.
it is an invasion, and I'm not mad at it. It doesn't matter where you come from, what subs you take. I promise you, there's a place for you in this group. You got everything, beginners, advanced, people who are getting on NPC stages, OCB stages, like it's all across the board. Like you'll have a place and people will just make you feel very invited and just, I mean, gosh, talk about the motivation. It is a very motivating and inspiring group. You can go to oldsschoollabs.com, register. All you gotta do is buy a product, literally $35 and you're in, and it's a win-win. You get a free product,
Challenge.
free
Put
ticket.
challenge in the code when you
Yes,
buy that
yes.
product.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why I got man James. Code challenge in the promo code area. That's your ticket in. And we can't wait to have you. I mean, truly, like it's gonna be incredible. And I just can't wait to see the results. It's always crazy results. We got Samir Banu and John Hanson as the special guest judges. So I mean, you can't get
And
better than
those that don't know Samir, if you're new to bodybuilding or haven't really followed the sport over time, he was what, 1982, Mr.
that. 80,
Olympia?
83
83?
Mr.
Yeah,
Olympia. Yeah,
so
yeah.
great physique too back
Hmm.
then. I mean, he wasn't Samir, looking back, he was never like the biggest guy, but when you
Hmm.
think of those old school bodybuilders, which kind of we call classic physique now, his
Yeah, yeah.
physique was perfectly symmetrical. He had great symmetry, great lines. He had a great look to him.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's so he has a product that's with OSL. It's from the Samir Signature Series, and it's called Lava 196. So that is a little Easter egg, I guess. Is that was his weight when he won Mr. Olympia in 1983. He was only 196
Yeah,
pounds. So if
yeah,
that goes to show anything, the dude must have had an impeccable physique to win at under 200. Like
yeah. And Lava 196, that's a fat burner, right?
that is a fat burner, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's it's more of like an advanced, like it's definitely like so if you're kind of just getting into fat burning and I would say the vintage burn is great, but like the Lava 196 is definitely for someone who's been doing it for a while.
I've used Lava 196. The thing that I like about 196 over the Vintage Burn is the nootropic side of it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny that you
So
say that. And that's Jessica echoes that too. That same thing that you're
the
saying. She echoes.
focus, great
Yep.
focus.
It
Yeah.
changes her day. She literally says my
hmm
day's not the same without that. Like if I don't
Yeah.
start off with 2 pills, I don't feel the same day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the protein too, just so you know, with Vintage Brawn, I love their protein. They use three sources of protein in there. What is it? It's chicken, eggs, and beef, right? Or
Yep.
is that right? Chicken, eggs, and beef?
I think it's I want to say it's the way isolate that is the eggs, milk,
Oh
and
yeah.
beef. Yeah, yeah.
Beef, yeah,
So like
eggs, milk, and
yep,
beef,
yep.
yeah. So, and I love it. It mixes well if you're making
hmm
oatmeal or shakes. Very good belly fill. Sometimes proteins mess with my guts. This does not. It's a very good product, and I'm gonna tell you this, people. I've done a few of these challenges with Old School Labs now. Those of you, many of the fans out there that watch this show know that I was in the demo crew with Dax and Sledge for a long time. Um, Great. I mean, they're good people. Seth Ferosi's a great dude, but there's
Absolutely.
something different about the Old School Labs community that I haven't found anywhere else. And I'm telling you, the people in there are super, super genuine. It is a great community. Everybody in there, no matter what level, they're in there supporting people, building people up. I've
Yeah,
never one time seen someone in there trying to tear somebody down or telling them they're doing it wrong or don't do that, you're stupid or any of that stuff. And I have seen that in other groups where people, they're like, oh, you're not doing it this way, you're wrong. And we actually did a whole podcast on that about staying in your lane. And it came from my good friend Matt Deacons. He's a power lifter. And he posted a video squatting over 700 pounds. And a guy commented on there, you're stupid, you look pregnant. And I'm like, why would you say that? This guy's squatting over 700 pounds. He's a competitive power lifter for crying
yeah,
out loud. You just don't know what you're talking about.
yeah,
And you don't get any of that in this group. And I love that. It's all support. And the other cool thing is they're not just handing out cash for winners, people. There are weekly prizes. Marcus and his better half, Jessica, they're doing all kinds of fun stuff in there, giveaways and, old school spirit and all this kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I got my old school shirt
yeah,
from
yeah.
the
That
first
fall
challenge.
challenge, yeah, showing
Heather
that.
Burgundy.
Yeah, yeah. We got. I mean, we've introduced some new categories as well. We brought back the People's Champ, men and women. We got best bodybuilder. We were even bringing in social butterfly because we all know we want to get our socials up. So they
Oh, wait.
love that.
People's champ right here.
Yeah, yeah,
20,
yeah.
2020, what was it, 2022?
20, yeah, I think
2022. Yeah,
2022.
2022 Fall
Fall
People's
People's
Champ, baby.
Champ. Sad to safe
Toot,
to say a
toot.
very easy victory. A lot of strong contenders, but I mean, come on, it's Mr. James Gilbert, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't knock it. But yeah, we got a lot of new. Just it's every like I'm telling you, every walk of the life is just it's welcome. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, where you come from. It truly is welcome. And ironically, there is a category for you that you can place in. I mean, we
yeah.
literally have everything from social
You got
butterfly.
like a bodybuilding category too,
Yep,
right?
yep,
Like best
yep. Best
bodybuilder.
bodybuilder, best stage ready. So we're really just want to be inclusive to everybody who's in the fitness community. Like I'm over here trying to think of as you're talking about the power lifter, we're really trying to, plot some ideas for future challenges as far as like, the 1,000 club having whoever is able to put the bolts on their, their squat bench deadlift
Yeah.
as far from day one to, week 8. Like really trying to get out there and start to build maybe even some like, most influential slash like insightful, just really trying to get those people in who can really help the community because that's what it's all about. And as James kind of echoed, it's, it is a positive community. We have a lot of negativity in life. And if I can speak for myself, I'm super negative. I beat myself up daily. Like I am my own bully. So to be in a group where it's nothing but positivity, it's pretty helpful. I mean, it sounds like preschool, but I mean, I'd love to go back to preschool. So I need that
No,
positivity.
man. And we gotta be kind to each other. We live in a world now where everybody is very there's a lot of anger and a lot of hate out there and people are taking sides, especially in this country, left, right, center, whatever. And the problem is we're losing that opportunity to have conversations with people because if you have a different take on something,
Yeah.
you're done. They can't stand you. You're an idiot, whatever. And we need to get away from that. We need to find a way to come back together as a world community. And I think things like this, when you can find groups of people like what that private face group does in the old school labs, is when you can find a way for everybody, I don't care what religion, color, political persuasion, lifting style, whatever, it is a great group of people that are uplifting. And we need a whole lot more of that. We need more
Oh yeah.
smiles, baby.
Yeah.
We need more
Yeah.
smiles.
I learned that from my grandma. My grandma is a very opinionated, amazing, lovely woman. And so I've really been able to learn how to weather that and go into every conversation with that in mind that hey man, we even though like we have different views, whatever it be, to each its own. And in the end, we all kind of want the best for each other. It's just what we
Yeah,
think is the best, right? No matter what side we're on, it's just what we think is the best. It's probably what we were born to believe or how we were, groomed. It is what it is. Like
yeah.
in the end, we kind of all have like that similar eye and similar outlook. And I think it's awesome that you brought up, the powerlifter dude from before, because so like that's another thing in the group, just because someone's doing different from you, like there's a girl in the group named Michelle Johnston who goes in and she does, powerlifting competitions. And I can't lie, that makes me just want to go straight to the gym. And I'm not trying to power lift by any means, maybe power build a little bit, to working on my strength, but that makes me want to go straight to the gym and just start working as hard as I see her, and this is just
Yeah.
a woman who's killing it. So
That's a whole different animal, man. You start throwing around the kind of weight these dudes throw around, I'm telling you right
jeez.
now. It's like, oh man, I feel like my legs would shatter trying to
I
squat
know.
700 pounds. You know
Yep,
what I'm
yep.
saying? I don't
I
even
got
think
brittle
I could get
bones, man.
700 pounds out of rack.
I
I'd
couldn't
be
save
like,
that feel going
no,
the love of my
brother.
life.
No,
No way.
no way, dude.
Yeah, I got some brittle bones, man. They're gonna shatter underneath some weight like that. So
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
I'll
You ain't
watch from
kidding.
the
I
side.
stick to I kind of, I kind of look at myself as a bodybuilder with a power lifter mentality. So I call it power building, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I lift reps like a bodybuilder, but I'm always trying to lift more weight, more weight,
yeah.
more weight,
Honestly, that's the way to do
so
it, man. You always heard
yeah,
about the guy who lifts the calf up. You know what I mean? Like you just
yeah,
slowly just you keep on putting on that weight and that strength will come. So I try to keep that same mentality in the gym, like, and it feels good. Like I know with my brother, that's the one thing that drives him is the numbers going up. Like he
yeah.
still implements the bodybuilding style, but he likes to see those numbers go up. And I know that's what makes or takes his brain. Like I can tell as soon as he calls me on FaceTime, the facial expression, I can tell if he got his PR or if he didn't. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to. So people, I just cut food this week. It's the first week of cutting food. I'm still strong, and I actually yesterday and back day, and even today, I had my heavy chest day, and I broke some personal bests for me. Some of them were weight, some of it was the amount of reps I was able to get with a weight, but um, I know that is going to start dropping
Yeah,
the food comes down more, and I
petrified.
am not looking forward to it. But I'm gonna do it because I'm coming, man. I'm coming. I want that 5Gs. I'm
Hey,
coming.
and it
I'm
is
coming.
open for yeah, it's open. James can get it. Trust. It don't.
This old man is
James can
coming,
get it.
baby.
Anybody in their mom, and I really mean that. I'm trying to get my mom in. Anybody in their mom can get that
Uh,
5K. Like mom, watch, they're gonna be your mom's gonna end up being the next sponsored athlete for
uh, that's
OSL.
funny. I got one of my clients who's doing a show in June, and this challenge lines up perfect because
It
we
is.
just started prep a couple weeks ago. And the challenge is what's day one? Like, was it the 21st
So we
of
have so
April?
right now it's the we're letting people do it between the April 21st and 28th to get their check-in photos in. Just
Okay,
so it
so
makes
the
most
the
sense. Trying
week
to get
after
people
the 28th, it's like 8
it's
weeks from there, right?
yep, yes, sir. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So he'll be like he's just started prep. This will be perfect. He's gonna be shredded by the time he
Got the cheat code. Got the cheat code right
Yeah,
there.
he is going, man. He's
Man,
going.
that's
And he
awesome.
looks really good. We talked about him before. his name's Devin Stiff. I'll just throw you a picture up of this kid in the podcast. But he's a 19-year-old kid. He's one of the most respectful young men I have met nowadays. I mean, everything is yes, sir, or yes, coach. Yes, sir. I mean, he's just very, very respectful, hard worker. When I started working with him last year about June,
Hmm.
and he was 150 pounds, shredded, very, very narrow and shredded. And when we started prep, he was like 192 and still had abs, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
we kept him. His diet was good. We bulked right. He put on a ton of width and muscle in his upper body, and he's doing men's physique. So he's
oh
gonna.
nice, nice.
It's just gonna be his first show. It's an OCB show in Pensacola on June 15th, and I think he's gonna go in there and win that thing.
Yeah, man, that's a shout out. 40 something pounds and within the first year is just to get
Yeah.
back to those genes right there. That's
Oh
awesome,
yeah, them
man. Shout out to
19-year-old genes, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
that.
Testosterone's through the roof.
Right? That man got Pacquiao's blood flowing through him
Oh
off
yeah,
rip.
man.
That's
And to keep
lovely.
the abs, to gain that weight and keep the abs. I mean, at 19, you want to go party with your friends and eat
Yeah.
burgers and pizzas and do all this stuff, and he has done none of that. I mean, yeah, of course he goes out. The cool thing I love about this kid more than anything is like he's like, "Hey, coach, I'm feeling a little depleted. I need more food." And he's like, can I go get a couple of sushi rolls? Look, yeah, dude. Go, man. You could do that you want to do that once a week, do it.
What do you mean? I'm doing
Yeah,
that right
he's like,
now.
he's not asking for pizza or burgers. He's like, he's really good about planning his nutrition, prepping his food, and being on point. And it has shown in the gym.
Yeah.
And to bounce that back to the challenge, you'll see a lot of people like that in this challenge. There are some people that they're very disciplined.
Yeah.
I want to call out Chelsea. I mean, this girl makes some great, like, if I eat very bland food, just because it's easy for me to make and I can just make it and shove it in the fridge. But
Yeah.
she does things with food that is just absolutely amazing. And she posts like the macros, it's all macro friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like pizzas and these different wraps and all
Yeah.
these different things to make food fun. So
Yeah.
if you're a foodie and you
Hmm.
got to have variety, follow Chelsea. Follow
Yes.
her in this group because she's gonna post these things, and she's a great girl, very sweet. She will. You hit her up, and she'll tell you how to make something.
Yeah. Yeah. I always tell her, look, we need the full video and cookbook in the group every
I
time
told her
because
she should do
every
one,
every
man.
Friday night I
I'd
see the
buy it.
pizza night. Oh man.
Yeah, I'd buy it if she put together a
Right?
macro-friendly cookbook. I would buy that thing. I'm telling you right now, I would buy it.
Oh yeah. I want to learn how to make that homemade ice cream she does with the
Oh yeah,
protein. Like I'm just like I don't know how to do that. Like I'm a freeze some yogurt. I have no idea how to use that. That looks just
yeah,
yeah, it really is. There's people like that. Like I said, there's people who are doing the meal prepping for a week in the group, and you see their containers all throughout their island, and and you also have people like a Chelsea who just since day one has been giving it her all through every challenge, finally placed high top three, and it just got completely
yeah.
shredded. Just
Shredded,
always,
like
yeah,
show
like
shredded.
yes, yeah. I told her, I tell you, I messaged her and I was like, you need to get on the stage. Like I can see your hip and glute just striations, like
Yeah,
on the stage. And it's just crazy because she's somebody who she doesn't even know about the stage. She like I remember at
yeah,
one point she didn't know what a front double was. Like she had no idea. Like so it's just you have literally all walks of life. You have people that are literally stage ready who just care about fitness, work out from home. You got James Thompson just in his living room or in his basement, just like lifting weights, got the whole trap in there and everything, just going
yeah,
to just taking it down every day. And there's all of that. There's truly a place for each and every person. Mikhail, somebody who just lovely videos, Esco. I mean, you got people who are just on their social media game, but then they've come from walks of life to where like I know Mikhail has had like so much weight on his frame. Like
hmm
he was a bigger dude at one point, I guess, and he's slowly trying to get down and build back up. I mean, there's just incredible people. We got some heavy hitters like Pade and Ronald who have all placed actually, like they've
yeah.
all placed and they're over there squatting in and deadlifting 6 plate, 7 plate. I'm just like, man, like
What's that? There's a what's that girl too? She does I think her name starts with an M. I can't remember right now, but she was in the military and also does like military shows and stuff. What was her name?
Oh, I think Whitney,
Uh,
Whitney New Link, I
Whitney.
think
Yeah,
something like
Whitney
that. Whitney.
Mulek.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
great. She's a
yeah.
good hard worker.
And she's high up in the military too.
Yeah, yeah. And there's old dudes like me. You got Paul Morales,
Oh man.
right? I mean, he's gonna beat us all into the gym every morning. He'll be the
Uh-huh.
first one to post a pic every day.
I call that man a
Um,
warden, man. That is he's a
yeah,
true real life warden at that.
I like him too, man. He's great shape.
Uh-huh.
He's hard working. He's retired military law enforcement and that kind of stuff too. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's
you
a
can
driver.
he
But
has
yeah, there's
that.
great people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man. I can literally talk about him forever too, man. Like how
Oh
you're saying,
yeah,
you wake up to that Paul post in the morning, and just he got he's that father you want in the gym. Like that's just what he reminds me of. Like he's just
yeah.
that brother, that guy who just he's gonna go in there and just the facial expression alone is just he's gonna get to work. And then we got the flip side where it don't matter the facial expression. We got James with the smile who's
We're gonna
still getting
get Paul
work.
smiling.
I gotta remember to smile at the gym more, James.
Oh
I
yeah, at
really
least
do.
during your pictures, man. At least, hey, if you don't love it, act like you love it. Fake it till you
Oh
make it,
yeah,
baby.
yeah. Yep, yep. That is my life motto right there, baby. Fake
That's
it till you
right.
make it. It is so hard to do that too, in the sense of like the pictures, the smiling, like when I've tried it and I just sit there and but it's better than looking like like
Yeah.
that.
Hey,
Just put on
man,
a creepy
when you're
smile.
on stage, you better be flexing and smiling. They look for that stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Better not be frowning up there.
I always thought that was
Yeah.
interesting too, man, with what they some of the things they care about on stage. Like,
Yeah.
but the smile's important. It's that, $1 million smile. It's
Oh
important.
yeah. If you do go on stage, I've seen people make this mistake, especially like when I go to some of these like OCB shows and stuff, and it's their first time on stage, right? One thing, if you ever plan on getting on stage, one of the things I want to let you know is from the moment you walk past that curtain and you're on stage, you are being judged.
Hmm.
Just because you're not showing your physique, you're being judged. So when you're standing on the side and someone else is doing their quarter turns and maybe your group isn't doing quarter turns yet, dude, keep your gut sucked in, keep everything tight. You don't got to be flexed. Breathe, but they're looking at that. You let your gut go, and I'm telling you, they'll see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
from the moment you walk on stage till the moment you walk off stage, you keep your midsection tight, you keep everything in control.
yeah. Which is why, like, actually, putting in that time into posing training is really important. Because trust me, you're gonna be reaching new heights when it comes to how constant you're gonna be keeping those poses on the side and just the
Oh
length of
yeah.
time and things like that. I mean, and you're
Yep.
100% right, because even from like a fan perspective, it really is all eyes on you. Like I just watched some of the clips from the Arnold South America,
Hmm.
and I'm really, especially since everything happened with the Hottie situation at the Olympia stage with Derek.
Yeah.
I tend to really keep an eye on like the second place, third place winners, especially if it's they could have won. So like
Yeah.
this time around, I saw Tony Burton just kind of, and I really just was just watching him like I was the judge and jury, like, but I really wanted
Yeah.
to see how he was gonna take, getting second place to
Hmm.
Raphael, and it was all love. So like I think it's
Yeah.
really important. It goes hand in hand because there might be somebody on stage, even a young person who you might be inspiring in some form or fashion that's watching you and learning from you, whether it's at OCB stage or not,
Yeah.
like wherever you are, somebody might learn from you in that moment. So whether it's keeping your gut in or keeping that smile on your face and just being a great person, it's important.
You made a good point too about practicing posing because you can tell on stage you can tell who practices and who doesn't because the people that don't practice tend to shake.
Yeah.
They can't hold a pose for even 10 seconds without shaking, right? They haven't learned how to engage the muscle and flex it without shaking. Like my athletes, dude, it's when they hit prep, we're talking, 8 to 12 weeks out. I mean, they're posing every day,
That's
10,
awesome.
15, 20 minutes, right? Like every single day they finish their workout, posing session, finish the workout, posing session. And then, when I can, if they're, I have some that I train that are distant, I get on a Zoom and they put their camera up and they start posing and I watch them and we go through
Dang.
poses. My guy
That's
that's
awesome.
here, I go to the gym with him at least once a week to sit and watch him pose and go through some things with him to make sure that he's engaging. Because, there's all these little subtle things you don't think about. Like the judges are sitting below you, you're up on stage. So if you're doing your back, if you're doing like a lat spread or even a rear relax, and you're leaning forward, they're not seeing that detail.
Yeah,
You've got to get the pose and get tilted back. You've got to lean towards the judges a little bit so that they have that angle to really look at your physique. And all those little subtleties will make the difference between, it can make a huge difference in placing.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you really can. I'm still trying to work on that too with some of my shots. Like, and there's shots just because of being just like embarrassed by him, I stay away from him at times. Like I've done
Yeah.
that, and that's just you got to give it practice. You got to give it the
Mhm.
effort. And like I'm always big on my back shots, always. So those are ones I'll be really good at. And then when I turn around to the front, I'm just I'll sit there and might I'm still not comfortable in the shot, things like that. So like it's really
Yeah.
important to give it the time, even the ones that you hate. Like I would suggest your least favorite pose that you have.
Work
Start
on the
working on
most.
that. Yeah, start giving that all of the effort.
Yeah, because all in all, listen, people, a bodybuilding show is it's a beauty contest, right? And what you want to do, if you're not doing the bad poses, you won't know that they're bad. And if there's a pose that doesn't show your physique off well, we got to find a way to tweak that pose so that we can hide your weaknesses and accentuate your
Exactly.
strengths, right? It's an illusion. It really is an illusion when you're on stage. You are trying to put your body forth in the best light, right? And
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you this too. If you want to see a kick-ass back, go look at some of Marcus's shots. Back is freaking, dude. You got the whole turtle shell going. You got slabs of beef
I
just,
appreciate it,
oh,
man.
bam, on your
I,
back. You got a big old back.
Man, I thank you so much for that. And it's one thing that I may have touched base on it before, but there was a while back, my brother was just whipping my butt in the gym on a back day, and I was like, all right, this is incredibly embarrassing. I'm literally not even half as what he is right now with these reps and sets. So I really took that and just tried to like, and it's now my favorite day. It's the day I'm in the
Yeah,
gym the longest usually. Like I love it, and it's funny you say that because you actually I told you you like the I posted some pictures in the group, and you ended up liking the one that I
yeah,
sent to so I sent it to like my girl, my brother, and she always goes for the aesthetic, and then my brother is just pure size. We like the mass, we
yeah.
love the mass, and then my man James came in and was like, "That's the one." So like,
Oh, dude, it was naughty. I mean, your middle back was popping. The
oh
thickness on
man.
that thing, I was like, holy shit. I want to grow up and be like Marcus one
No,
day.
no. I appreciate it, man. Trust me,
That was good, man. That was
I
really
love
good.
it. Yeah,
So,
man.
hey, we got the challenges going. You're in full force with that, but you've also been stepping out, doing some other cool stuff. Like, talk about that podcast you were on. That's
Oh
pretty
man,
cool. There and
it's funny too, man, because we had a whole conversation about the posing that you just brought up, and we had some back and forth. So it was the Muscle Maturity podcast with John Hansen and Samir Banut, Mr. Natural and Mr. Olympia. And so you got little old me there, which doesn't fit in. I'm trying to be as humble and as awesome as I can be, but I'm new to it. I'm not a social media savvy person. I'm trying to get, I'm jumping in the deep end. All right.
yeah,
They want the TikToks and all this. And I'm really trying to get into the vibe of all this. Uh so yeah, Muscle Maturity Podcast started that up, and it is just it's a whirlwind, man. It is you got two very outspoken, especially Samir Banut, very outspoken individuals who their fan base know that and they're there for them, right? And
yeah.
then we're battling who used to be there on top of it in that podcast, and I'm not that either, but it is one of my favorite things from here on out is going and reading the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is. I've watched that podcast, man. It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
Samir will really dissect
Oh
athletes. I mean,
yes.
he has a very good eye.
Yeah.
He's obviously been doing this for decades and decades. I mean, he's been at the pinnacle of the
Hmm.
sport, being a former Mr. Olympia. And it's if you're into bodybuilding, great. It's a great listen.
Yeah, yeah, and especially for those who've been seasoned in bodybuilding, I really think it's a great podcast for you as well. And we're really trying to, I think, implementing me into it is a good way to kind of get just a broader audience as well, as far as people who might not be as knowledgeable and who are just sitting here trying to do it the new way in their own way,
Yeah,
rather than the tried and tested. And obviously, I'm old school. I'm old school athlete. I'm gonna take from that. I'm always gonna love the old school bodybuilding. But obviously, it's a new day as well, so I have a feeling we're gonna be there's gonna be some back and forth. Like it's gonna come. Like I remember they asked me a question on the last podcast, and it was about posing, and as far as posing routines and the mandatories and things like that. And so the question was pretty much like, do you feel like posing routines should be judged? And I do. I think it's part of the art.
absolutely. They
Yeah,
used to be.
yeah, yeah. You got the quarter
Yeah,
turns and then your 8 mandatories and then, the opposing routine. And
yeah,
I'm all for that 1000%. Now I will say, so I don't think the posing routine itself should allow someone who's in eighth place to come up to third
no,
at by any means. But where we kind of had our, where we parted ways was they thought it should be one third, one third, one third. So where I still think the 8 mandatory should have a little bit more merit behind it. It should
hmm
have just even if it's 50%, and then the other ones are 25, 25. I'm all for that.
yeah,
I just can't see the posing routine, even though I love it. I love the posing routine. I just can't see it being equal to the actual posing rounds, the 8 mandatories.
yeah,
And man, if we didn't go back and forth on because I'm like I said, I grew up on I love Kai Green, right? And I think
yeah,
that's
man.
art. It's an art, it's
Yes,
an expression, it's how they showcase their body. So yes, there is that old classic way of just, you find your way to hit that pose, and I get it, but in the end, to be able to do the exact same thing and to have and contract all your muscles while quote breakdancing or doing a chicken dance,
yeah,
as Samir like to say, I think that's an art. I think there is so much like you have to have a crazy amount of mind muscle connectivity to be able to sit there and do these crazy dance moves
yeah,
and still be able to contract every muscle in your thigh and quad and like just down to your toenail. All right. So
100%.
I'm all
No,
for it.
I'm with you there, dude, and I agree that you cannot. I don't think that, like you say, that the posing routine should be able to bump you up 4 or 5 spots,
Yeah. Yeah.
because a posing routine is great and it's very aesthetic. But
Hmm.
when you're creating your own posing routine, you're not going to show your weaknesses.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
are creating that routine to show off all of your strengths. And what the mandatory poses do is they show off everything. You
Yep.
cannot get away.
Can't hide.
Everything is exposed. You can't turn a little bit to hide some stuff.
Hmm.
When you're doing a front double, you are square on.
Yes. Yep.
They're going to see if you got an X frame or not, or if you got a wider waist, or if your lats are hanging from behind. You can't hide any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with you that it definitely should be judged.
Yeah. Yeah. One thousand
Like,
percent.
I could see you moving a spot over a guy because of it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like I say, not all the way up to
And that's
that.
kind of the point that I took on it is like I can see if you're like 1 and 2, so like Samson and Hadi at the Arnold UK.
Yeah,
I feel like they were pretty close. There's a couple, but then if you're putting a lot of merit into the posing routine, yeah, I think that Samson's was a better posing routine, not necessarily better poses, because obviously Hadi came correct.
yeah.
But as far as routine goes, his little purple rain, it was beautiful. His transit,
hmm
everything about that was just phenomenal. So I feel like if you're neck and neck, yeah, bump that person up 1000%
Yep.
because it is in the end it is an art. And I think John Hanson made some amazing points on the podcast about it being like a sport.
hmm
And you got to practice and then you're up there and that's the major league game and things like that. So a lot of good points. Just it is an amazing podcast hosted by Old School Labs. And you can. I think there's something for everybody. Like I said, one of the big topics that I brought up when we were discussing the pros and routines and how it is an art, and it kind of goes with what we were talking about, was I didn't know this, but watching it back, and if you haven't, so there's an athlete named Antoine Vaillant who's IFBB pro. He was at the Arnold Classic, and he placed very low, but his posing routine was pretty phenomenal. And he actually, in his routine, he told a story, so he's somebody who battled with addiction throughout his life. And so he was pretty much saying that his posing routine was his way of really expressing him going from, where he was falling to rock bottom and then being able to have the courage to build back up. So everything from the music, the transitions, him just his body physically folding on stage and then being able to pick it back up. Like when I watch that back, I can get goosebumps knowing the story
Yeah.
behind it. And I think that's the
Yeah.
artistry of it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's entertainment and whatever, yes, it's entertaining, but guess what? There's still art and entertainment. And just
Yeah.
knowing that story, knowing the backstory of it, oh man, like I know I could watch that back, I'll get goosebumps. Like
Yeah.
I my tear
It,
ducts will start to grow, man.
you're absolutely correct that it is an art form, man. I mean, it's just this is the canvas.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Training is an art form, and we
Hmm.
all do it, right? Like we'll go in and be like, yeah, I'm looking really good, but my traps are a little lacking. So
Hmm.
we start sculpting those a little more, and then the shoulders, and yeah, most people in this gig all have body dysmorphia of some sort.
Oh God, yeah.
Man, I need more of this. I need more of that. But I think in many ways it's a healthy body dysmorphia, right? It
Yeah,
can
yeah.
become unhealthy if you push in the envelope and just
Hmm.
jamming synthol in your arms and all that kind of crap. I
Yeah,
mean, that can become an issue, but if you're just literally out there training, just trying to sculpt your body to a way that gives you confidence, makes you feel good, that's going to help you at work. It's going to help you with your relationships, personal and
absolutely.
professional.
Hmm.
It's just going to help you mentally as a whole when you feel good about yourself. You want to smile. Then you're going to go out there and you're going
Yeah,
to lift other people up. And it's my belief that our job on this planet is to serve each other, period.
absolutely, man.
We're here to
Amen on that
help
one.
the next guy,
Yeah,
right? We got to help each other.
that is
Can't
and
do it alone.
it is very you hit it right on the head, man. It's truly you see it all the time where it's like, hurt people, or, these different
Yeah,
phrases that you hear to where, yeah, when and I am a very glass half empty kind of person, always have been. And it can be to a detriment. And as you said, there's, body dysmorphia comes with terror. If you're in the gym, trust me, you look at yourself smaller than what you actually are. It's just a given. Unless you're in your first 2 months. I've been when there are people in their first 2 months, all of a sudden they start bringing out the tank tops and they're like, Jesus, look at couple months in after that, trust me, they're covering back up. They're feeling the mental game of it. But it is very, very true that you really have to, like, yeah, you can use it as a driving force. And I do, that glass half empty mentality helps really push me to the next level at times because I'm never really gonna settle mentally. I'm always gonna look at myself as I could be better, I could be better. So I can use that as a driving force, but you need to be positive. You need to sit there and spread that, especially with others. Like I learned it with Jessica. Like I will go and I will never make her fit in the gym feel adequate. I'm really bad at that. And something I got to learn is just, as a human,
yeah.
I never make her feel like she's done enough because because me, I never want to feel like I've done enough. I always think I could push harder.
One
So,
more.
what works for some might not work for others, but we all need that positivity. We all need to be, heard and felt and just, hey, dog, that was great, man. Good. Look at
Yeah.
you. Like, pat on the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
need that, and it
Yeah.
it doubles back to the community, like the old school ass community challenge, transformation challenges, to where like you get that accountability, you get people who are just on their 60-day streak of whatever it is they're doing. It might not be in a gym for 60 days, of course, but they're showcasing their active rest days and things like that. And it really just that kind of motivation helps. It keeps you in the gym. Like you even talking about some of your clients, like it made me want to go, all right, Jessica, do this in 3 days. Like, like let's start building, different things like
Yeah.
that. It just really pumps you up. And I feel like we need that in the gym. We need that in life. We need that positivity. And it's really hard to do things when you aren't, leading your day with that. That's why there's such thing as mantras and things of that nature, to where like we really need to tell ourselves it's okay. Like we got this. You live in the moment. I think that's one of the hardest things that me and Jessica we've talked about that a lot lately. Is just she listened to this podcast and ironically and said these things can help. All right, hopefully this one's helping you a little bit. But she listens to this podcast to where this woman, I think it was Mel Robbins, pretty much just talks about how to live every day in the moment, like to every moment, just sometimes sit back and think about it, think about that moment. And when you really do that, arguments, lifts, a day, a check engine light coming on, whatever it is, it
Yeah.
just doesn't feel as big as it really is in that moment to you. Like this is just to be in the moment, to sit back and just ah, man, I'm never going to have this moment again. It makes you look at things differently. So if you take that into your next gym session or whatever it be, the next night where you just lay your head on a pillow and start thinking thoughts, it could really help, you know?
Absolutely, man. 100%. I've had in the last, I don't know, decade, I've had a couple of very close calls with my life, right? And it does change your perspective and how you look at things and the things that you will let go and realize that, it goes back to that one of the best examples ever is when that guy, I know most people have seen this where he takes the jar and he puts a bunch of golf balls in it and then asks the class, is it full, right? And they're like, yeah, it's full. And then he takes all these rocks and he pours all the rocks in it and they filter down through the golf balls. And he's like, is it full now? And they're like, yeah. And then he takes the sand and pours the sand in there. And it's like a huge amount of sand and it filters down through everything. And he goes, if you feel, he goes, the golf balls, those are the important things. That's the big stuff. You need to fill your jar with that first. That's your family, career, loved ones, those things that are important that are going to drive you. Pebbles, that's important stuff, but not as important as the golf balls, right? Those are those other things like relationships that you're cultivating or hobbies and things like that. And then the sand. The sand is all of the trash. That's the stuff that you don't really need in your life, but it's there. And you need to, if you put the sand in the jar first, all that little stuff that drags us all over the place, you're never going to get the important things in the jar,
Yeah,
right? It's
I
a
love
it's
that.
it's a great visual example of what we need to be doing
Hmm.
with our lives. We need to be
Yeah.
focusing first on those important things, right? Those super important things, and then letting the wish wash just kind of go down. And I think too, when you're talking about training, man, you got to find what you love. There is no right way to be in the gym. There are
Mm.
bodybuilders, power lifters, CrossFitters, cardio kings. I mean, there's everything. But you just gotta find what makes you feel good and
Yeah.
what you like and what is gonna motivate you. Because I'm telling you right now, I start my day job at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? I get up at 5 every morning. I'm in the gym by 6 because it's Prozac. It starts the day. If I don't go to the gym in the morning, like my whole day is shot.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm just dragging. It's like I'm missing something. And I'm the type of guy like when I finish my day job, I don't like to go to the gym at that point. I'm usually spent because I get up early. So, find what you love and what is going to drive and motivate you to be better. And I promise you, when you find that love, that thing that motivates you and makes you better, it will adapt you to your entire life. It will make everything better. All the stuff that you were having trouble with will start to go away. It doesn't mean we ain't gonna have problems. It doesn't mean shit ain't gonna happen, right? But for the most part, you will be better.
Yeah, I think that was like one an awesome analogy, and it is so true. Like the fact that yeah, if you fill your life up, how you said with the sand, if you fill your life with the sand, there's not going to be room for anything else. And I think that we can take that into just our everyday lives. What we look for is what we're going to eventually find, and we hear it all the time with the universe stuff. But like I heard this at some point. If you look at in a room, you look for everything green, right? Just you look for everything green, or you look around, take 5 seconds, look around.
You
You're
just
going to
made
be
me
able
look around my room looking for green stuff. I apologize.
you're gonna be able to say some of the things that are green.
Yeah.
However, now if they ask you what was red, you're not gonna remember anything that was red. You might remember one thing, and that's the whole negative thoughts versus positive thinking. So if you're only looking for in this case, let's say red things that are negative, that's what you're going to find. To where if you were never looking for the green, they're not going to enter your life whatsoever. So sometimes we really just have to start off our mental with just positivity. Look for the positive in life. There's so many reasons to be negative, you know what I'm saying? and
Yeah.
and if you just kind of look for that positivity, you'll be able to find it. And that's why I say this to you every time, James. We need more people like you who aren't afraid to just let out that side of just straight, don't forget to smile, don't forget to smile, and just in every which way, keeping that message, keeping that alive. Like it has always helped me. I think it's something that really catapulted you to being the people's champ back in fall
Yeah.
because it was you know I think people really looked at that as a mantra. We got to remember that. So I know you were being tagged left and right where people were, their gym pics, their selfies, they would put on a smile, and guess who they thought of? That
Yeah.
means it was birthed in somebody just saying, "Don't forget to smile," and putting a happy face emoji. Like,
Mhm.
if that's not power within itself of just like individuals and who we are and what we can be to others, like off of a random private Facebook group and a
Yeah.
transformation challenge, to where now you got 30 different people who are posting pictures smiling and saying, "This one's for James." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it really
And
goes to
it's
show it.
that is just so natural to me too, because I want people to smile. I want people to, and especially when they're down, right? I think we forget that, you know what, even though times are tough and we may be failing at something,
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that there isn't somebody out there that loves you or other things that are good. It just, and we forget to smile. We forget, we get so caught up in the problems that we may be dealing with or the trial that we're going through at the time that we forget to focus on all the good in our lives. And there is always something, man. And I've said this before too. If you can't find someone to love you, hit me up. I'll love you. And then you have a reason to smile because you know at least one person loves you. And I also like to tell people embrace failure, embrace the hard times, because that's how you're going to get better. You'll hear people say all the time, failure's not an option. No, I believe that failure is the only option because we will never
absolutely.
grow without failure.
Absolutely. And we
You
see it in
will
the gym
never
too,
grow.
man. You see it in the gym, and you have to be able to know how to fail in the gym to really have that true progress. Like, I think
Yeah,
if you approach every workout with, "I'm gonna fail today." Yeah, it sounds crazy, but failing is where we have growth. I mean, it's what's going to allow us to get to that next step and find something in us that we would have never knew was possible. Like how that, to bring back the analogy of the golf balls in the sand, you failing, we could have thought, oh, 10 reps was enough right there. 10 reps. Yeah, it was good. I did that. All right, that was my goal. 10 reps. You could have got 13. You could have got 14, maybe. You could have upped the weight 20 pounds and got 12. You know what I'm saying? So there's
yeah.
always room for improvement, and you don't know that until you fail,
Failure
really.
promotes growth. And like you say, in the gym, we train to failure because it promotes growth. I do in the gym, I would recommend, I always tell my people failure with good form. So
Yeah,
when you're lifting, as soon as your
absolutely.
form goes, you're putting yourself at risk for injury, right? If you're
Yeah,
deadlifting and you're going for that last rep and your back is rolled and you're shaking trying to get it up,
yeah,
dude, you're going to jack your back and snap a bicep. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to
yeah,
happen. But failure with good form, but you need 100% train to failure physically and mentally. That is how
absolutely.
we get better. If you are not embracing all the crap that you have to deal with, the stress of life, it's going to eat you alive. If you can embrace it, still find the good things, look for the things that you're learning. Look at your face in the mirror, man. Every night I like to look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, where did I struggle today? And how can I fix that tomorrow? Right? How can I get better at whatever I failed at today? I did terrible. Like maybe who knows? Maybe I was short with my wife, or I didn't treat her necessarily the way I should. I will embrace that. I will apologize for it. I will try to fix it. Not that I'm like some mean brute. Trust me, if there's anybody mean in my house, and my wife's ruling me, I promise you that. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like
I do.
we get snappy, right? We get grumpy. We do those things. But if you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, "Man, I messed up. I need to apologize. I need to learn from it. Like, why did that happen and fix it so it doesn't happen again."
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I give you, hey man, I give you credit because the fact that you brought up your wife, I think it tells a lot about you, and I know that you're not going to be no crazy, like
No, no,
because trust me,
she'll kill
from
me.
what you say, it sounds like I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not I might be the aggressor outside of the relationship, but I am not the aggressor in the
My
relationship.
wife's like 5'4", 130 pounds, and she will whoop my ass. I promise you.
Yeah, no, I definitely Jessica's a very fiery individual who
Yes.
and I think she's only 5'1", and it's
Yeah.
I sometimes, like, the other day she told me, "Yo, you need to go take a walk." Guess what? I walked.
Say up. I guess I'm going to do some cardio. Thanks,
I
Jess.
know.
Appreciate it.
It's a win-win.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
Well,
hey,
listen,
brother, I know you got some stuff going on tonight. I want to thank you again for coming on. Shout out the
man.
dates again. When do we got to be registered by, and when does everything kick
Yeah,
off?
so we're like so online it's gonna say registration is open until the 15th. Don't worry, you have until the 21st. Get it in. Like hit me up, direct message me, whatever it is, you have at least until the 21st to register, buy a product, get in the group. There's a private Facebook group out. As soon as I see you, as soon as whatever, rather Stu James, he can add you in. He's been going hard with that. So I appreciate that, man. But we'll get you in there. And pictures are due between April 21st through April 28th. We want to give everybody a week span, so it's very, just as it's equal. Everybody gets, there's a week. So we're not, in the April 1st compared to people on April 28th.
Yeah.
So April 21st to the 28th, get your pictures in. 8 weeks starts the day after April 28th. And then I want to say June 22nd is our June 21st, June 22nd is the day to post the final check-ins. Every week we have freebies, prizes, supplements being given out, t-shirts to others who did good. Like it's an amazing group. So make sure to
Yeah.
get in
Good people.
oldschoollabs.com. It's right on the top banner. You'll see it. And just come join us. I mean, you got James, who's always going to promote positivity, and just he's going to be in there, and he's trying to come for that 5K first place. All right, so you
Coming.
already know it's going to be some
Coming.
you know it's going to be crazy and a great group of people. So I can't wait to have you. If you enjoyed this conversation, I promise you the group echoes this. All right, so if you're still here, join the group because this is what it's about. And you will see a bunch of people like myself we're just trying to do it. We're just trying. We got people like James who've been doing it and who've been trying. So I can't be more thankful for this opportunity to be with you, James. As you already know, bring me back anytime. I'm always gonna welcome myself here. Right? I'm always gonna love to come here
You
because
are
you are
always welcome.
easily. I appreciate it. I mean, you're easily one of the most genuine, incredible people to talk to. And I only know you from an online basis, but man, I know for a fact I can call you once a week and we can talk for 2 hours. And
Oh
I
yeah.
love that. So I appreciate you for that. Appreciate you for having me here. And I can't wait to see what you got this time around too in the transformation challenge, man.
I'm bringing it,
I'm
brother.
excited. I'm
I'm
excited.
bringing it. Marcus, thanks so much for coming on. You are salt of the earth. And you're right, dude. I could call you once a week. We could just, have a couple
I
hour
know.
conversation. Easy, man. I enjoy your company. Everybody, definitely come on now. Get out there. Support Old School Labs. Support this challenge. I promise you, you will find a community that will lift you up and strengthen you. You know I love you. We're very thankful for everybody that checks into the show, likes and subscribes, all that stuff. Thank you so much. Remember to get out there and work hard, peoples. Don't forget to smile.
Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.